Am I the jerk for not allowing my siblings to visit my home until they can be respectful of our differences? My siblings and I lost our mother when we were young. I was 6 when my mother died, and they were 3 and 2. 2 years later, our father met his second wife, whom I see as my stepmother while they see her as their mother. For a few years, I thought they would see our mother as their one and only mother like me, and I had a hard time with them calling Dad's wife Mom. My father tried to insist that she was our new mother, which only made it worse. My stepmother said our mother asked Jesus to send us a new and better mother, which wasn't the right way to speak to a kid who loves and remembers his mother. It was my maternal grandparents who helped me. They explained that the kids were so young when our mother died that for them, a piece was missing, and Dad's wife filled that void for them. This perspective helped me. I came to accept that we were different now. They had a different mother than me. This understanding does not apply to my siblings, who don't understand why I can't see their mother as my mother. They always bring up how I have our mother in my home, but not their mother. They think I should have real family photos and not just old ones. So I sat my siblings down and told them that we are different, and I accepted that a long time ago. I explained that we would never be on the same page, and that's okay. However, they should learn to be respectful of those differences. Until that point, they can't come over anymore because they won't stop trying to pick a fight about it. They got angry and accused me of overreacting. Am I the asshole? You are not the jerk. You were respectful and calm. If anyone is overreacting, it's them. It's not too much to ask for your feelings to be respected in your own house. Your siblings should stop pressuring you to accept her like your biological mom. Am I the jerk for arguing with my sibling after they stole my favorite name? 27F, and the oldest sister of 4 children. My youngest sibling recently came out as a transgender man, and everyone in our family is being super supportive, which is great. I have loved being able to support my brother through the earliest stages of his transition process. The issue lies with the name he has chosen for himself. There is one name in particular I've had picked out for my future son since I was 14. I don't want to say the actual name because it's not too common, but let's pretend it's Evan. It's common knowledge in my family that I have always loved the name Evan. I have made it clear over the years that I intend to name my son that. A few weeks ago, my brother sat the family down and told us that he is ready to change his name to a name that really fits him. He then told us that he is changing his name to Evan. I thought he was joking at first, but once everyone started hugging him, I realized that he was serious. Without really thinking, I said, "But that's my name." He just shrugged it off and said, "Well, it's my name now." I tried not to get too upset about it because it felt very petty, and I wanted to be supportive. But then everyone in my family started calling him Evan, and I could feel myself being less and less okay with it. I tried to confide in my mom, but she told me that I was being ridiculous, trying to claim ownership over a name. Eventually, my brother asked why I wasn't calling him by his name, and I asked him why he had to choose the one name that I've always wanted for my son. He told me that I was being unfair, trying to gatekeep a name for a baby that might never arrive. He said that I was further away from having a baby than ever, which was hurtful. I do see where he is coming from, and I do want to support him, but it hurt me that he and my mom were so willing to dismiss my feelings over it. It might not be a big thing to them, but I've had this name picked for ages, to the point where my family have jokingly referred to my future son by name sometimes. I told my brother that he was being selfish and unwhole. I know this is very petty, but am I the whole here? It's definitely a difficult situation when someone uses a name you've dreamed about for a long time. It's not just about who can or can't use the name, but the hurt that comes from feeling disregarded by someone you love. Your brother's choice is deeply personal and important for him, but a bit of empathy from him would have gone a long way. It's understandable to feel upset, but supporting your brother while processing your own emotions shows that you're not an Am I the jerk for telling my parent that they would have made me more like the other parent if it weren't for my grandparents and aunts? I am a 17-year-old female with a mental illness inherited from my mother. My dad ignored the signs of my mental illness and remarried someone who holds stigmatizing views towards it. When I began to exhibit signs, my concerns were dismissed. At 13, my grandparents fought for and won custody of me due to my dad's refusal to address my mental health issues. I was diagnosed shortly after moving in with my grandparents. I am required by court order to maintain contact with my dad and his family, but I am biding my time until I can cut off contact completely. During visits, my dad speaks negatively about my mom's family, blaming them for my condition. During a recent dinner, I confronted my dad about how my grandparents and aunts supported me. After this confrontation, my dad and his wife accused me of being rude and suggested that my grandparents allow me to behave poorly. Am I the asshole in this situation? You did nothing wrong here. This is just terrible on the father and stepmother's part. Op didn't do anything wrong. She told the absolute truth, and they didn't like hearing it. Her father absolutely let her down, as early intervention is so important with mental health. Am I the jerk for telling my spouse I wouldn't go to a cookout where they'd be getting wasted? Today we were driving, and our plans for tomorrow came up. We are going to a cookout at a friend's house. His friend had texted something about then getting wasted tomorrow. I replied, "Wasted? Ugh no," he said. "I'm definitely going to drink, and you can be my designated driver." I was firm that I would not be comfortable with him getting wasted and that I don't want to be there for that. He says that I was being dramatic, but I'm not understanding what is dramatic about me not wanting to watch him get sloshed at a family picnic, so I could then be responsible for him and our daughter, who will be caring for our baby the whole time if he's enjoying himself getting wasted. I feel he was getting frustrated with me because I was standing up for myself and not giving in to what he wanted. He was instantly mad at me. He then told me to shut up, hurtful, and that I treat him like a child. I never said not to get wasted, I just said I would not want to attend if that was the type of day he wanted to have. It's not fun for me to be there, waiting for him to have all his fun, taking care of the baby, all while has hammered. I'd much rather go to grandma's house and get some time off lol. Why do I have to even explain why that type of behavior is just so immature for our age? We have a baby now and sacrifices have to be made. It's like he doesn't understand it at all. He then told me that I always make a big deal out of things. It's the always accusation that gets me and felt hurtful. I feel like he was turning this all against me. I speak about something that bothers me and he tells me to shut up. I asked how I was the one making a big deal, and he said because I was about to cry about it. I was nowhere near tears the whole time, just asserting myself, but very exhaustingly as we just had this situation a few weeks ago when he got completely sloshed on a guy's night. And then took shrooms without my knowledge. Telling me I overreact, telling me to shut up, telling me I always make a big deal out of things. All just hurtful. He later apologized for the way he spoke to me, only because he knew how much it bothered me. But it still feels like I went wrong in my communication to him, and I don't know where. Am I the asshole? I think you are not in the wrong here. You're describing behaviors that have many red flags, and he's being verbally abusive to you. People do make sacrifices after kids are born, and your husband's sacrifice can either be getting wasted without you around or not getting wasted. Lashing out at you just for saying no is so wrong. Am I the jerk for underdressing at a party? A few days ago, I was invited to a birthday party for my friend's roommate, Brandon, as a +1. I don't know the guy very well, but I decided to go along anyway since my friend invited me. The day before, I went out with her to pick out some clothes for it. I eventually decided on a nice crop top I found. My friend assured me that it should be fine, and that I wouldn't be offending anyone by showing off a little skin. Come the time of the party, I arrived wearing the crop top that I picked out and some shorts. I also had a hoodie tied around my waist in case we went outside for a fire later in the night. Most of the party was fine until people started getting tipsy. The birthday boy in particular had a few words to say about me. First, it was little jabs at how I look, stuff that could be played off as playful banter. But then he started getting more aggressive with it as the night went on. Eventually, it got so bad that I put on my hoodie to see if he'd stop. But after he didn't, I decided to leave. This morning, I was woken up to an absolute essay of a text message from the guy's girlfriend. The TLDR was basically explaining how she was dissatisfied with the outcome of the party. She continued to explain that me leaving prematurely without saying goodbye was rude, and that I had no right to arrive so underdressed. I tried replying to the message to explain my side of the story, but she blocked me. I reached out to my friend asking if they are aware of any of this happening on their end. And she told me that after I left, Brandon went on a huge rant when he realized I was gone about my choice of clothes. He made the claim that I was trying to come on to him, which isn't true at all. She also said that she was the one who gave his girlfriend my number, but that she was told it was to comfort me about the situation. I personally don't believe I'm the asshole here, but I've had similar moments where I really was an asshole and didn't realize it, so I thought I'd check here. It's a birthday party, not a courtroom with strict dress codes. Even if someone misreads the vibe and underdresses, a good host should make everyone feel comfortable instead of drawing attention to it. Brandon's behavior, including lying to his girlfriend about someone coming on to him, shows he has issues and is projecting them onto others. You are not in the wrong here. Find better friends who won't make such a big deal out of an outfit. Am I the jerk for walking out of the house and staying out for the whole day while family were visiting after my parents brought up my older sister's adoption again? My parents are hosting extended family for a couple of weeks. It was going okay until last weekend when my parents brought up a topic of conversation that I, 17 years old male, am so tired of hearing and being pulled into. My dad had a kid before he met my mom, my half-sister, 24 years old female. My dad had primary custody of my half-sister. My parents met when my half-sister was 2 and got married when she was 4. Her mom was in and out of prison, was on and off drugs and alcohol, and she was really disruptive to my half-sister's life and to my parents. She refused to stay away but refused to be a good mom too. When I was 2 or 3, her mom offered to walk away for good but only if they removed any chance that she could be sued for child support, etc. My mom was willing to adopt my half-sister. The 3 adults wanted this to happen, but because of my half-sister's age, her wishes held a lot of weight, and she didn't want my mom to adopt me, and it never happened. So her mom kept the back and forth for a few more years before giving up the relationship with my half-sister completely. My parents were so upset that my half-sister rejected having a stable and loving mom in my mom for a woman who even she admitted was so mean to her and didn't take good care of her. But my half-sister never really liked my mom from what I witnessed. It's a really big deal to my parents, and I've grown up hearing about it way more than I need to. They told me details I didn't need to know. When I was too young to be hearing them, they would suck the fun out of things bringing it up. And I know they hold it against my half-sister. They think my sisters, 14 years old female and 13 years old female, and I do too, but the lack of closeness has nothing to do with the non-adoption and everything to do with our half-sister not wanting to be close to us. I asked my parents to stop bringing it up around us a few times. They ignored me, until they said they got it and would listen. But last weekend my parents brought it up while family was over, and I was so not wanting to hear about it, so I got up in the middle of breakfast and left the house and didn't come back all day. My parents were so mad at me for that. I told them I couldn't listen to them talk about it again, and they couldn't help themselves, but I wasn't going to turn it into a fight to stop them. They told me walking out without permission is bad enough, but when we have family here it is disrespectful, and they told me I'm old enough to know and do better. This was a sore point the whole week. Am I the asshole? You are not the jerk. Your parents are beating a dead horse about your stepsister not wanting to be adopted. You've made it clear you're tired of the topic and have told them to stop bringing it up. It's ridiculous that they keep dragging you into the conversation when it's their issue to deal with. Honestly, your parents need to let it go and stop obsessing over a decision made years ago. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.